In this concept video, we're going to be talking about symmetry with special lines, and we're going to talk about how you can test for each symmetry using algebra. So let's talk about x-axis symmetry, and I'm going to draw you the shape of this is not going to be a function, but this is a graph here that would have symmetry about the x-axis. So like here's the x-axis, and if you imagine a sideways parabola, the top part is exactly the same and is a mirror image of the bottom part. And we're going to think about a point here, xy, that's on that particular part of the graph. And we're wondering, is there a corresponding point over here? Like if you had to do the reflection or flipped it over, what would that point be? And of course, that point would have the same x value, but the opposite y value. So it's going to be x comma negative y. And that's exactly what we're going to use to test for symmetry with respect to the x-axis. Let's move on to a different one here, and we're going to do the y-axis now. So I'm just going to be pretty boring here and draw you a parabola right there. And you can see here's the y-axis, and so that's a mirror image of itself across the y-axis. And let's think of a point xy, and that's supposed to be an x. Hold on a second here. Okay, so that's going to be an x and a y. What about a corresponding point over here? What would that one be? Well, if we went right by x and up by y, to get to this point, we would go left by x and up by y. So that point must be negative x comma y. Well, that's exactly what we're going to use to test the function or the equation to test for symmetry about the y-axis. This next one's a little bit special, and so what I'm going to draw is actually the line y is equal to x. That'll be in green here. So that's our line of symmetry. Looks just like that. And then let me go ahead and give you a graph that has symmetry about the line y is equal to x. And this could be like a part of 1 over x. That could be that upper right-hand branch for 1 over x. So let's take a look at this. And this one's going to be a little bit harder to see, but let's make a point xy there. And let's make its corresponding point right across, right? So it's like a mirror image right across there. And we're wondering if we had to go right and up by x and y, how would we go to this point over here? Well, we would have to go up and right. Well, let's see. So if this distance is x, the same distance is now y. So this point is going to have whatever the y value is of the first point, it's going to have, whatever the x value is of the first point, that's going to be the y value of the second. What about this one right here? So what about the y value here? The y value is there, and that's now the x value. So that's why you see the y here and the x there. So basically what happens is the x and the y switch. You don't have to worry about any negative signs. And actually, that is what we're going to use to test here. So we're going to use x negative y for the x-axis. We're going to use negative xy for the y-axis and yx for the line y is equal to x.